Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I have a brand new top 10 for you all, as I am going to be counting down my top 10 most anticipated movies of summer 2023. That means anything releasing from May 1st until August 31st, anything in that window within that time frame counts and can be included on this list today. And with that being said, I feel there's really no further introduction needed because that's all pretty self-explanatory. But before I hop into the actual top 10 itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my top 10 videos. There are plenty of videos on there for you to already enjoy, so if top 10s are your thing, then be sure to check that out. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. And as per usual, this would not be a top 10 video from me if it wasn't a true top 10 video because, of course, I have a few honorable mentions. These are the movies that I am still very much so looking forward to and I genuinely feel should be on your radar, but in staying true to the top 10 title, I only wanted to include 10 movies that I talked a little more in depth about. So, those honorable mentions are The Boogeyman, Extraction 2, Elemental, Barbie, Blue Beetle, and now, number 10, Asteroid City. Now look, I'm going to address this right off the hop. Wes Anderson is a director with a very specific, unique style, and there's really only two possible categories that you could fall into. You either love that style and see everything that he puts out, or it's just simply not your thing. For me, I fall into the former, and I love a lot of Wes Anderson's movies. In particular, Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom were huge hits for myself personally. We only have one trailer for this movie so far, but it already looks like an absolute winner for me, and it also has one of the most stacked casts I have ever seen. Big cast, big names doesn't always mean good quality, but in the hands of a very capable director, for which I feel Wes Anderson absolutely is, I can see this being a home run. Number 9, Insidious The Red Door. For many of you, this might not even be on your radar whatsoever. You might have checked out of the Insidious franchise long ago, and really, I couldn't blame you. It's not necessarily the most consistent or best, well-reviewed, or quality horror franchise out there. I'll be the first to admit it, but I have a major, massive, undying love and huge soft spot for this franchise. The first Insidious movie was the very first, true horror movie that I watched that actually really got me into the genre, and I've always loved and appreciated that movie for that reason, and because of that, I think I just really grew to love the world. I love the world of The Further, and the fact that this one is also going to be Patrick Wilson's directorial debut, and he's bringing back the entire OG cast. I'm actually really excited, and I thought the first trailer that they just recently debuted was a real solid first look. Now, does that mean that this movie's going to be any good? No, not necessarily, but I do truthfully feel that one way or the other, I'm still going to have a good time, so it ends up on my list today. Number 8, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I have always been a pretty big fan of the Turtles. I used to watch the cartoon all the time growing up as a kid. I loved that '08 animated movie, and although I've kind of fallen off on the Turtles in recent years, this trailer completely and utterly and entirely reinvigorated my admiration for these characters and this world. It's got an unbelievably stacked voice cast, with the likes of Giancarlo Esposito, Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, Rose Byrne, John Cena, Jackie Chan, Maya Rudolph, Ayo Edebiri, and even Ice Cube is in this movie. The animation style looks like something completely refreshing and new, and I think that this is exactly what the Ninja Turtles need to sort of revitalize the brand and to make us fall in love with all of them all over again and potentially kick off a whole new film series for everybody's favorite turtles. Number 7, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Not gonna spend too much time on this one. I love the Transformers movies. That's no secret, no surprise at all if you've been following my channel for any period of time. I adore the first 3 Michael Bay Bayformers movies. Yes, they're not well written. Yes, they're stupid, big, dumb popcorn fun, but I love them. I have so much nostalgia for them. They are my biggest guilty pleasure movies. I watch them all the time as, again, I am a huge fan, and I thought that Bumblebee was a nice change of pace for the franchise, a breath of fresh air. We have all of our favorite Autobots back in action, and there's a giant Transformer gorilla. The action looks great, the CGI looks great. I like how they sort of found that fine line between the designs found in the Bayformers movies and the designs that we got to see and were very much so treated to, because I loved those designs in the Bumblebee movie. It looks like it has a ton of heart, it looks like it has a ton of action, and that final battle, which I can only assume is the final battle, looks all kinds of epic. So you can guarantee that I will be rolling out to the theater opening night. Number 6, The Flash. I'm just going to start off by saying that I am well aware and recognize everything that Ezra Miller has done and may still be doing. Completely recognize it, not shying away from it or hiding it or trying to sweep it under the rug or anything like that. I just don't dive into those controversies on this channel. I just talk about movies, and when talking about movies, this movie looks damn good. In fact, it looks spectacular. Although I am holding back a little bit because with the trailers that we have gotten, yes, I know the movie is still reportedly unfinished, but the CGI does not look great. A lot of the CGI looks really wonky. It looks like it's really trying to pull on those nostalgia strings with Michael Keaton's Batman. Maybe a little too much for my liking, but I do like how it's blending the old and the new. We have Michael Keaton's Batman, but then we have General Zod from Man of Steel. We have a new Supergirl, we have 2 Barry Allens, and this is supposed to be the resetting point that ushers in James Gunn's new DCU. A lot of the word of mouth from people who have seen this movie as test audiences and a lot of people that got to see an unfinished cut at CinemaCon, it's just pretty much been overwhelmingly positive word of mouth, so I am trying to stay a bit cautious with my optimism, but as we inch closer and closer to that release date, my hype meter just grows and grows. Number 5, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Say what you want about the Indiana Jones franchise, I've actually been quite shocked to look around on social media and see that a lot of people are not really excited for this one, either saying that they just don't care, or some people going as far as to say as it looks bad. Like, I don't get that at all. The only okay indie movie is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The first 3 are magnificent, marvelous, some of the best, if not the best, adventure movies of all time, and I know that Steven Spielberg is not in the director's chair for this one, so that has people a little apprehensive, but look, James Mangold has delivered time and time again. The man does not miss a beat. My favorite of his being Logan, and this movie looks like what Logan did for Wolverine as a character. It's just that, but with Indiana Jones. Not to mention, it was just recently reported that Spielberg has seen the movie and was just completely infatuated with it, saying that he thought he was the only one that could make these kinds of movies. He was blown away, which makes me even more excited for this one. This looks like a return to form for Indy. It looks like the send-off that he didn't get with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and the swan song that he deserves. All I can say is, in Mangold we trust. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, I get it. Marvel has not been the most consistent at delivering quality products since Avengers Endgame. I'll be the first to admit it, I have always been an MCU fanboy, but I've really sort of started to veer off of that path a little bit because some of what they've given us recently have been my least favorite things to ever come out of the MCU. Not all of it though, so it's not that everything they put out is bad, it's just very hit or miss. But from everything that I've been seeing for this movie, all of the promo material, all of the trailers, TV spots, different things that different people have been saying with like word of mouth and stuff like that, all the posters, everything looks like this is going to crack my top 10, if not my top 5, and be one of the best MCU movies to date. I am fully prepared to go in and just bawl my eyes out at this movie. Again, James Gunn is another one of those directors, like I just said with James Mangold. I don't think the dude ever misses. James Gunn just consistently delivers. This movie looks to be a real tearjerker and just undeniably phenomenal. I think that this is going to be truly the best MCU movie we have gotten since Avengers Endgame. I am fully confident that I am going to love this movie, and that's why it ends up so high on the list today. Number 3, Oppenheimer. Don't have to spend too much time on this one. Long story short is that Christopher Nolan is my all-time favorite director, so I wouldn't even have to see a single trailer or anything from this movie at all to be excited for it, and for it to be up this high. I'm going to be there opening night, or as early as I possibly can be, for anything that this man puts out. It just so happens that we have a lot of really cool promo material so far, a very, very solid and intriguing trailer, and an unbelievably stacked cast to boot. Everything I've been hearing about this movie screams that I am going to love it, and I have no doubts whatsoever that Mr. Nolan is going to satisfy my movie-going needs again. Number 2. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. If you're ever looking for a prime example of A, franchise that came back from the dead, or B, a franchise that just keeps consistently getting better with every new entry, look no further than the absolute enigma that is the Mission Impossible franchise. Seriously, this series should be studied in film classes for the rest of time. The second one I did not like at all, and the first one is insanely mediocre. People are mixed on 3, I love it, but then you get 4, 5, and 6 being Mission Impossible Fallout, being what I would consider to be one of the best action movies ever made. This one somehow looks like it's going to top that. If that's even possible, and if it is possible, if they deliver, or even if it just stays at the same consistent quality, I will go home satisfied. Number 1. Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Truthfully, how could it not be? Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse is one of my all-time favorite superhero movies, one of my all-time favorite comic book movies, one of my all-time favorite animated movies. This is a 10 out of 10 certified banger. It was unique, it was weird, it was wacky, zany, all over the place, but full of heart, incredible action, and unforgettable moments. Across the Spider-Verse seems to take all of that and crank it up to 11. We have more spider people on screen than ever before. The stakes feel higher than ever. You can feel the emotion just from the trailers alone. And it's going through so many different animation styles that I think my mind is truly going to explode, and I simply cannot wait to sit in that theater opening night. And to make things even better, this is the middle piece to a now trilogy, as we're going to be getting Beyond the Spider-Verse at some point in the future. It could not be a better time to be a Spider-Man fan, and after a long 5-year wait, I am counting down these seconds until I get to return to this Spider-Verse. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my top 10. While you're at it, don't forget to let me know what your top 10 most anticipated movies are for the summer of 2023. If you're a movie lover whatsoever, then my channel is the place to be for you. Be it top 10s like this one, ranking videos, versus videos, tier videos, I have it all and so much more, with nearly 800 videos currently on the channel for you to enjoy. So if you enjoyed this particular video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if any of that sounds like it's right for you and you want to see more from me, then smash that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, don't forget to ring that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.